Back at this again. I really enjoy looking at your photos, everything you sent in. So thank you so much. Without further ado, let's jump in. And I don't mean to open InDesign. Okay, so this is Arian. He sent some photos, and I missed these. He sent in a couple photos, and I talked about this one last time, and somehow I hadn't seen his other email that he had sent back in April or something that had the rest. So we'll go through them real quick. We've got a Challenger here. I don't like how the wheel is turned. I also think there's kind of some weird like selective color thing. Like you're kind of desaturating some colors but keeping the reds. And I don't know if that's a great look. I don't know if that's real tire smoke either. That might be like a fake effect. Either way, I also feel like there's some weird color saturation thing happening here. Maybe it's just a dramatic color grade. It's fine. I do think matte black offers some cool opportunities. I will say you don't have like the whitewash like windshield and hood like we had here. So this is like the sun direction is good. You know, daytime sun direction. Matte paint gives you a very different effect. So I think that makes this pretty interesting. I like the background. I like the depth of field for sure. Like in the other one, the tires kind of turned at the wrong angle for me. If that wheel was turned the other way, that would be preferred. But good background again. And then here we've got another Challenger. This is really close to this bottom edge. I like this little bit of bokeh vegetation here. I think we're like really saturated on the colors and maybe a little too much. And there's kind of some like dappled lighting hitting the hood. I'm not too wild about. This one, I like this. I would like a little more space maybe at the bottom and this side, but I like the crop. I like the perspective, the detail, exposure. All of this is good. Here we've got an S-Class. I like this road scene. I like the background. And we've got kind of a color grade here. I like the car and I like the position, and I don't know what it is, but it kind of makes me wish that this car was moving. Or if it is, that I could tell it was moving. It kind of seems like I guess it is just stopped on a road. And there's sometimes where a car is stopped on a road and it looks like okay that it's stopped on the road, and then there's sometimes where it's like I kind of wish this was moving, or it's almost precarious that it's parked here. So if it was a posed angle where it's like clearly it's not driving because it's diagonal in the road or something, that might work for me better. It's hard to articulate this. It's again, I really enjoy doing these because I encounter new situations or new things that kind of expand my view of like, well, why do I think this and why do I not do this or something like that. So if it kind of looks like the car is traveling in motion, but I don't think it is. So that kind of bugs me. That's the only thing. And then this one here, we've got these two Daimler Chrysler distant cousins. That's a little dumb joke from 2004 era. We've got these two cars. I kind of wish one of them was like we had like more of a distance. I don't have a guide to positioning cars parked together, but I think you want to have a little more of a contrast. So one of them bigger, one of them smaller, something like that. If this Charger was a little further back on the road, that would maybe give us some more interest. And also the Charger is not like, it's really close to dead straight, but it's not. We can tell when we look at these tires, the rear tires, this one is, coming out here, and the other one is totally hidden behind the front tire. So if you're going to go for that straight on, like make sure it's pretty straight on or imperceptibly close to straight on. And this is a little bit off for my liking. I like the scene. I like the sun. The snow is super cool. So thank you so much. Sorry I missed these last time. Thanks for sending those in. All right, Blake Currell. These are all very cool shots. I won't even ding them for being vertical, which, like I said, was something I said after like the first 2 videos, don't try not to send vertical. I'm sure these were sent before that, but I think this Stratos, I mean, I love the action. I don't know what it was shot with. You captured it beautifully, and this like turning blur is super cool. So I'm not gonna complain. It kind of also looks like it's been enlarged, like it's a little crispy. But composition wise, it's super cool. I would love to see this in more detail. But yeah, that's a Stratos. Ripping it on a curvy road is something that very few of us will ever get to see. So amazing capture. This one, these colors are really pretty. This is at an event, I would presume, because we've got a lot of vintage cars around it, but I really like just framing through this fence with this foliage and giving us just a really rich image with a lot of layers to it. The black looks so rich. Like this is great. We've got the good color, the Nori green LC500 convertible. I think you captured the color really well. I've got nothing really to say. It kind of seems like it should be rotated a couple degrees to be a little more level, maybe. But that's really picking nits. I think it's great shot. Maybe it's a tad underexposed. And then this 550 Maranello. This one's not stacking up quite as well as the other shots in the set. We're really close to the edges, and I think there's like a bridge behind the car that is exactly hidden behind the roof line, and we can see these vertical cable stays. So that's kind of strange. Like I wish we could see the bridge or not see the bridge, but we're kind of a little bit in the middle because we see it through the car. So. And also, I'm never crazy about this kind of flat color grade. I want just a little more punch, a little bit blacker blacks, a little bit redder red, but that's my preference. But yeah, I think based on what you've shown, I think you could have done a little more. And we've got the Stratos again. Now, this is really pretty lighting, great exposure. I kind of wish that we were like not clipping off the rear tire with this car here, and I don't know if there was any possibility to move over like 2 inches and change the framing, or if it's one of those things, but it's still a really cool shot. Also, if it was moving, it looks like I see like a helmet. Yeah, there's someone in there. So you probably didn't have the chance to really sit there and adjust the perspective. So very cool shot. Beautiful colors. Again, I would like a little bit blacker blacks, but I'm not gonna complain too much. And then this one, this is a really beautiful shot. I was just talking about kind of layering cars if you're gonna have multiple cars in the scene, and I don't think this was I don't know if this was arranged. I don't know if you said, hey, you park here, and I'm gonna shoot from here. I don't know if that's what happened, or if this is just like a car event and this is how they were, or if this one's driving in. But I really like the kind of depth you get of seeing this one and then this one and then that one, and then obviously the sun is just making this really spectacular. So this is my favorite. I would maybe Photoshop out this pole or crop it out. The Mustang would be getting close to the edge, and I would love to see like a little more punch and warmth to this edit. There's more you could go with saturation and warming and everything to really make this look fire, as the youths would say. All right, thank you so much, Blake. This was from Krastyo. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. A beautiful evening scene here with this 6 Series and a little Vespa. I was about to say scooter, and then I could tell from just the shape of the Vespa logo. I was like, oh, that's a Vespa. So I like it. I think I like how you've got this rule of thirds off-center framing. Love this ground texture. So I don't know. I think the car, I wish the car was maybe, I don't want to say exposed, but I don't want to say lighter, but because I think that would look really fake. But there's like an imbalance between these bright lights and then that our subject is pretty dimly lit. So I don't know what we would do about that really, but that's just something I'm thinking about. And actually, what would be cool as another shot, not to adjust this shot, but like we've got another one of these bright street lights behind the car, and you can kind of see that light casting through the interior. So if you shot some interior, or like a kind of looking at the back, looking at the headrest, or looking at like maybe the back side of the steering wheel from this side, if you shot in the interior, or the greenhouse of the 6 Series is so iconic. So if you kind of had like a shot of the interior where you're not even shooting the interior, you're kind of getting like the just sort of the frame. Like if you're kind of just shooting kind of the pillars and the shape of that greenhouse through the car, and had this orange light glowing through the windows, that would be could be cool. It could be crap. I don't know. As for this, I like it. I like the framing. Really like the scene and the car and the Vespa. So I just wish the car was a little brighter maybe, and this wasn't so bright. And I don't know if that would look good if you edited it to be that way, or if it was just a matter of framing it or shooting it in a different way. But good stuff. Thank you so much for sending that. All right, we got, I hope this is Dennis, but it could be Denis. If he's sending pictures of Challengers, I don't think it's Denis. So, Dennis. We've got Challengers, motorcycles, El Camino. Badass. I like this framing. I like this. This is another one of those times where the car kind of looks like it's driving on the road, but now I'm not sure if it actually is, but it's fine. Also, we've got like a selective color thing, which I know I haven't articulated why I don't like selective color, and I just feel like it was kind of like a cheesy kind of effect that you had in like the first days of digital cameras, where it's like, oh, look at this. I can take a picture of a flower and only the petals are this color or whatever. I don't know. That's just my own bias, but you're never going to open up a magazine, like a reputable car magazine, and see selective color or everything is black and white except for the car. So that's just my own preferences. It's not completely black and white behind the car, but it's pretty close, and I don't think there's any trees with leaves that gray. This one, El Camino, I love this shot. It's great. I think maybe just like a little rotation. I don't even think you'd have to change anything to warp it. I think we just twist it just like 1.5 degrees or something, so that the windows are straight up and down, and I think the car might look a little more level. But not everything has to be level, especially with this kind of super low perspective. I love the ground. I love the sky, this tree, the starkness of this black car against a kind of bleached wall. That wall is creating a great reflection in the side. So I could look at little things and say, oh, I wish this wasn't like so precariously close, but I don't really care. Like the impact of this shot really, really grabs me. I can also tell that looking at this scene, if I was in that scene, something tells me that, if you were further over to the right or further over to the left, maybe there was other stuff, or it wasn't as good. Like I think this was probably the shot from this scene, and it's a cool scene. So I really like this. All right, we've got another Challenger. Again, we kind of got some selective color. I'm really liking this long shadow, and I'm really liking how low you are to the ground, and these, the kind of granite kind of sparkles bokeh in the pavement. Yeah, I don't know. We're kind of in a sun direction situation where it is a little muddy. Just the color is a little bit like, we're kind of shooting slightly into the low sun. This pole, not crazy about, and I don't think you could have gotten lower. I mean, we see the ground there, so I don't think you could get lower to frame that out. Maybe you get a little closer, and then you're going wider. So, I don't know. With maybe a cleaner background, this would be a shot I would be more excited about. And then here, I feel like this wall, I don't know. I guess that's real, like bokeh, but it kind of seems a little fake almost. And I think we've got some like clarity artifacts, maybe like some sharpening. I could be wrong. I like the colors a lot. Again, I like this like, gradient to the ground. The sky is popping. The bike looks really cool. It's a nice shot. And then this one, yeah, I like the perspective. I don't know, it's a little bit bleached looking on the edit. Like we've got such bright sun, but it is, but it's not like a warmth. So maybe if this was warmer, I would like it more. And maybe that goes for this one too. So thank you so much, Denis. Matej sent me these shots, and if I didn't pronounce your name right, I'm sorry. So I like this. I really like this subtle kind of color grade, and I really like this bokeh in the foreground, the vegetation. We've got an interior shot. I think technically this is really nicely done. It looks like it was really even lighting outside, so that's making this work really well. But yeah, there's no hot spots in the car, and your dash isn't super brightly glare lit from sun. You're pretty close to dead center in the middle, maybe just a little off by a millimeter or two, but no complaints there. I'm not crazy about having just like stuff in the car, but that's not, that's just me. I like this is showing what the car looks like, and the stuff that's in it. If this is your car, this is what makes it your car. So I'm not gonna ding points off for that. Again, we got a nice steering wheel shot. I kind of wish that these were a little bit even in color. This one's a little greener. This is a little bluer. Again, really nice, just subtle shot. I like the foreground stuff here. Polarizer would maybe take down that windshield just a little bit, but I really like how the background, this bed of grass, just really makes this subject pop out. There's no busyness or distractions behind you. Same thing here. Kind of the same stuff that applies to this applies here, but these are all they would look like they were taken at a nice medium to longish focal length. So these two got just a little bit of color fringing, that kind of chromatic aberration. So that can kind of happen when your lens is kind of overblown, I think. I don't know. It's basically the whites can do this on chrome and surfaces like that, and you could take it out by just removing purple from the channel. I would have underexposed these a little bit when shooting. And again, I want those colors to kind of match if these were taken at the same time. I don't know, but they're in the same set. So here, similar scene. I don't like the wheel being turned. I don't know. It kind of maybe bugs me that the ground's not level. Maybe this specific shot, doing a side shot like this when the ground isn't level, isn't my favorite. Even if the car was going kind of pointed downhill, that might work better for me. Similar notes here, although the exposure is really nice. I would love to see this wide, similar to that. This one is similar to this, but in the sun. We've got a little bit more sun. Car is looking warmer. Yeah, I dig that. Again, I would want that polarizer. Check your tire pressure, but I like how you captured this. This is the essence of VW from this era, is these blue and red dials. So I think it's really important that you capture that, and then getting the glow from the nighttime. Yeah, I thought this was another sun, and then I was like, oh no, this is like under a light or something. So, and this one's nice. These are just not up to. I kind of like what that light is doing on the hood, but these kind of look like you parked up at a hotel for the night after doing a drive, and you like turn around and took a shot in the parking lot. So it's nothing wrong with that, but these are not like up to the level, I think, of the rest of the set where you really went out and positioned the car. So yeah, I like this one. Some of these are just so similar. I think you got to find some new perspectives. Yeah, find some, new perspectives, get low, get higher, whatever. But this is a great start. Oh, and I didn't talk about this one. Really like the paint on this one, what it's doing, that like subtle glow. This was a nice, looks like post sunset time of day, and then we've got this vegetation here that's kind of almost hiding this vertical pole. So hey, I like that too. So great job. Thank you so much for sending those. All right, this is Martin, and I'll put up, I'm sitting really far away from the computer, so I can't read exactly. It's Strukel J Media. So these are some event things. That's really pretty, really nice. You really captured the fenders on this 911 beautifully, like that reflection and everything. Just the lighting in this is really nice. Colors, yeah, really nice. I wish this was wider. I kind of wish she wasn't being cut off like that. But your colors are really good. The scene is really cool. This looks like a fun time, and it looks like an inviting, nice scene. So I think this is cool. I like the perspective too, and I like that we've got, I don't know what is here. It looks like salt flats or something, but no one's like head is getting cut off into this landmass. So I guess that is probably water and not desert. Maybe not. I don't know. But I like how everyone is kind of below this horizon. I think that is kind of key to what I like about this. It's really nice, really even, really good scene. Here we got an NSX that is parked up here. I don't know. The shadows kind of bug me. And then again, everyone's kind of looking away at other things. This one, not crazy about. I kind of wish that we were more focused on something because, yeah, I don't know. I wish we were more focused on something or there was more chaos around this car, so it's clear why we're kind of zoomed out looking at this car. But right now, it seems incidental. So, not my favorite. But I really like this. The way you captured the glow of the 911 taillight and then these, like, reflections of it are super cool. And then we've got, again, like a beautiful backdrop. So amazing tones, amazing sky and mountains. Looks like the storm is coming. So this, like I said, is very pretty. You've got it's just like dripping reflections. No notes here. Like this is great. Yeah, this is an M3 drifting with a tent. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I'd love to see some other shots from this set. It's like sort of a shocking image because you see the car and then you think this is like the background or something, but it's a tent. So I don't know. Maybe it's so hard with action stuff like this, especially when there's not. So it's not like the car is traveling really quickly and these people would be blurred out. So I guess it kind of bugs me that the people are kind of a little bit distracting. Like the brightest thing is the smoke and then this guy's sweatshirt, but you don't have a lot of control over that. So it would be cool to see some other shots from this event, or this shot. Maybe if we're wider, we have more context for it, or we see all the people spectating, and it gives us a sense of the scale and the awe of this event. But yeah, I like it. And then this one, it's kind of weird. I see what you were doing with the blue and this kind of gray blue being very similar. It's a nice street scene. This basket is making it looks like it has like a Mad Max Rust door for a driver's side door. So that one's kind of weird to me, just how this basket's kind of messing up the shot. So I maybe would have crawled around looking for another angle, or maybe just zoom and crop down to, here, crop down to, or do a vertical, as I've been complaining about all the time. But if you did a vertical and cropped off the basket, I think that would be pretty cool. But thank you so much, Martin. Justin Roozeboom. He told me how to pronounce his name, and I left a note, and now I'm reading it for the first time in 3 months. Sent these 2 shots. Now, I'm always talking about the joy of, like, shooting in the desert, shooting in the mountains, shooting in wide open, natural places when the sun has gone down and the sky is just glowing, and you can capture that. So, and that's what this is. We got some nice space around here. I maybe could go for more space around just because we're in a really stunning scene, and then I would warm this up even more. We've got a little bit of the pink orange in the sky and reflected, but I would kind of want to really punch that up, just kind of make it really warm. I know that like everything gets cool and bluer, and there's blue hour even, it's sometimes called, but I would just want to warm this up and make that reflected sky really, really pop. But this is a great shot, and you were at the right place, the right time, really confident with the camera. I would, no other notes, just my own selfish desire that everything be on fire, warm. And again, this one, again, I'm not crazy about the color. It's very green. I feel like we're in the Matrix. I don't know. Is it a little on the nose that it's in front of the Audi place? We got the rings there. Could you? The only thing that bugs me, besides this kind of green color, is that the car is sitting not super level, and so I don't know if there was an alternate parking situation where it could be flatter in relation to the building. The building is perfectly straight and level, which is great, but then the car has to be kind of this canted angle. So that is the only thing. As far as the exposure on the car itself, it's beautiful. This is really well done. Since it is like I don't know if it's late in the day or if it's dark, it might look better with the headlights off and just the running lights on, because we're kind of getting like a real blowout with the headlights. But I do kind of like the starburst that it creates. So, but yeah, really nice reflections on the car. Like, yeah, great exposure throughout, really consistent. Thank you so much, Justin. All right, Vincent Matta sent me these, and he said, I remember this, not that I dwell on this, but he sent a note like, I'm not like you. I'm not as casual about it. I like to do more post-production or compositing or stuff like that, which is true. And I don't know why I chose to take it in any kind of way that was untoward. I didn't, but I know what he's saying. I don't love doing compositing things. I don't love doing like a million layers or lighting a bunch of things and combining a bunch of photos. And some people do. And Vincent is, as you can see, pretty good at it. So I think this is really cool. When I first saw this shot with the alpha, which appears to be, I don't think it's light painted. I think it's probably strobed. But when I saw this, I said, oh, one of the things that kind of bugs me about those kind of night shots with the light painting is when you don't know where the light source is and it's like impossibly lit, which I complained about in my light painting video. And I noted at the time, like this shot, Vincent has this glow, this light source. And so, you look at it, you're like, oh, well, that's where the light's coming from. Your brain doesn't fully think about it too much, so it works, and it works here. It works really well. I love the tones and the metallic blue paint, like nailed this color. Great scene. It's really dark, and then, the bits of the architecture you can see have these cool vertical lines, and really, really great pavement texture. I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the smoke is probably fake. And I don't know if it needs that, but that is up to Vincent. That was his creative choice. But really nice shot. Just beautiful exposure on all of this, really. So here we've got Audi. Again, really nice exposure, cool architecture. I like this drop-off, again, with the ground. I don't know. The car seems pretty bright, like dominating the scene, but maybe that's okay. I think that's okay. We've got like a lens flare here, and then again we've got like a suggestion of a light source, which maybe that is the light source. It probably is in some sense, and it probably isn't entirely, because the front is lit in such a way. But I like this long shadow. It's a great shot. Here we've got a Mustang. I love this background, this building. I think, I don't know, I kind of think this one, if we had some of the starkness of this, I know obviously it's lit differently, but if we kind of took out some of the blue that's in the ground here, and if this shadow was blacker and more dramatic, that's just a thought. I like what you've done. This one, I feel like this kind of gets into a little bit too much processing for my taste, just that it seems like the whites have really been brought down and everything else has been brought up, and it's too low contrast. And maybe that's just my own preference. I also do not like this fence in the background. Maybe if it didn't have like the barbed wire aspect at the top, it would be a little bit better. But yeah, I personally know the struggle of finding photo locations without fences or ugly crap. And then, yeah, this is probably like a power line support thing. I like this as a framing, but yeah, this is very hostile looking with the metal spikes. And then this Viper, this is really, really well lit. What a fantastic like shape of car, like such a beautiful car, captured really well. Just nice soft lighting, perfectly even from front to fender to rear fender and roof and on the back. I think it's a little weird that we've got this red cast here in the reflection and the blue in the back. Also, I wanted to say I really like the wide angle up close extreme perspective is really working here, because it gives you a sense of this car's really dramatic proportions, and we're at a unique perspective that you wouldn't normally see unless you're crawling around next to these tires. I don't like that I can read the stuff on this ugly blue wheel. I kind of wish this was knocked back and completely in shadow like these tires, because that's a little distracting, unless this is promoting these wheels. I don't know, in which case I'm sorry. Sorry for calling out that it's an ugly wheel. I guess that there's like the blue is like a connection to the blue stripes on the Viper, maybe. But great shot, like masterful lighting, really good job. Thank you for sending these in. They're great. Jog Dela Pena sent these 3 shots. Well, let's go through. I think there's some room for improvement here. This is a cool car, but it's like the worst. I don't want to say it's the worst perspective, but related to sun direction, this is like the worst direction you can shoot. We're like into like overhead sun, like the shadow is coming towards us. It's just so kind of bleached and harsh looking sun direction. Not, and I think you recovered it and did what you could with edits, but that's always the biggest struggle, is when the sun is like directly in front of you and you're shooting towards it and it's also overhead. That's a really tough place to be. I think you captured this kind of pearlescent yellow paint really well. I wish this windshield was blacker. And yeah, I mean, since we have such a high contrast thing, I almost want this background to be I want to see even less. Like, let's make the blacker, just go nuts and take out all the distracting elements, and that would kind of give it like a unique look. But I'm sure the car looks like it's moving. Maybe there wasn't a lot of time to make adjustments. But I like what's happening here. This is one of my favorite parts on this car design, and I like how that yellow is kind of swimming around, reflecting in that piece in the door. NSX here, great low perspective and long focal length. So, and the sun direction is a little more favorable. I think the sun's coming from up in the top left or something. I don't like this vertical. I know I'm like always finding vertical stuff to complain about. I would like clone that out or something probably. I know it'd probably be really obvious since it's this marbled stone. I like that you had the forethought to get into a place where you have a gap between this car in front and you're still really far away. We're maybe a little bit too low almost because of the crown in the road is putting us really low. Maybe just like 6 inches higher up would be better in this scenario since we're on the opposite side of the road and there's that crown. But yeah, this is better. And then this again, I think we're in the exact wrong place sun direction wise where we want to be. And that's just going to make it, washed out looking, for lack of a better term, where it's just directly into that overhead sun. But it is well captured, and you made the most of it. So thank you so much for sending those in. Jairosperspective. Okay. So we got these 4 shots here. All right, we've got 2 of them with the seat headrest detail from basically the same perspective between the mirror and the A-pillar. I want to see something else. If you're going to send me 4 shots and 2 of them are like pretty much the same, I don't know. This one could be brightened up. It could be warmed up a little. And maybe, you try shooting through the windshield glass. Get the same shot, but from the front of the car, the other side of the car, of that same driver's side thing through the glass. We've got a nice sky. It looks like a, post-sunset or near sunset, warm sky. So I think there's some possibilities of other perspectives, and maybe that would cast like a nice glow through the windshield. Or that's what I was thinking. I had this thought when I looked at this earlier. If you shot this through the windshield, maybe not even as tight, and if maybe there was some warm sunset clouds or something, or the sky reflected in that glass, and we're not taking out the reflection completely, so you kind of have this dual level. Dual image with something in the windshield and also this seat through the windshield. So I'm fixated on the windshield idea, but I think you nailed the headrest from this perspective. So maybe explore for some more. This one is tough because it is so dark. I don't know if this was a caliper that was any color except black. I think the image would work, but to choose to focus on something that is black when it is also so dark, and then it is overlapped by this bright silver alloy wheel. I hate to say this is the wrong thing to focus on, but I think it is a choice to focus on a black caliper surrounded by, black tire and background, and it's also in the shade. I would have liked to focus on the whole wheel and make that the subject. Maybe I'm totally off here. So this is what I was talking about, where we've got kind of a cool sky reflection happening in that headlight and a little bit in the windshield. So finding stuff like that, especially an event like this time of day. Most car events happen like at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. or some time of day when the sky is not doing anything interesting. So if you have an event like this where the sky is really pretty and is doing interesting things and is changing dramatically as the sun is going down, I think there's some real possibilities for capturing that changing sky, making your subjects even more interesting. So explore that a little bit more. As for the shot, framed well. I think I've seen some where it's like framed way too close, it's cropped way too close to the badge, things like that. I would like to see this warmer. I just want to see this shot warmer, but I think the crop is good. And then also I don't know if you're darkening up here in the background, but maybe ease off on that. So thank you so much. Filipe Martins has emailed me a couple times, respond to me on Instagram. It's not someone I know personally, but someone I feel like I know through correspondence. And these are some wide shots. I really like that. I might have to shrink my screen a little bit. These are really wide, which is cool. So we've got an Abarth here, up high perspective on this line, and then over here, it looks like there's like a wall, probably you're standing up on something and there's a wall or railing, and we're kind of shooting through that, getting that bokeh. So I really like what that's doing. Really like the color edit, the framing, not too close to the edge. And also the car is kind of between these barriers, these concrete. So there's not like any weird super weird verticals or anything. I kind of wish the car was over like maybe 1 or 2 feet, half a meter, you would say maybe, just so the tires aren't on this line. But I think that's nitpicking. I think this is a great exposure and great color balance. Very cool shot. We got this Audi here. I think this fence is just too distracting for me. I think the car was captured well. I think it's a pretty location aside from this fence, but the fence is really kind of hurting me. So we're so close to having a reflected car down here, and I think we're just not able to get to that perspective where you'd have to be to see it. I saw this one. I really like this mini shot. I really like this Dutch angle. It really works. It's kind of like your, what's like the framing thing, like your, God, I can't, what's this is the framing. It's like we're going like this, we've got this right angle framing, and then we're just turning the whole image, and it works really well. Again, another black car in a urban environment. It's always tricky to capture, fighting reflections, captured well here. I guess what bugs me is the roof just kind of being really close to that roof behind it. I mean, the only thing you could do is move the car like a little bit closer. Then you could keep your perspective, keep the framing, do everything the same, and the car would just be a little bigger in the frame and block out that background. But also really nice exposure on this. It's a cool wall texture. This is a great shot. It's a lot of fun. I like it. And then here we are looking down on presumably the same car from a structure or something. Only thing here is there's like this kind of greenish color. It just seems kind of nasty. So if you went into the channels and maybe took out the green, actually, if we took out the green and took out the yellows. All right, first of all, I want to say, when I was talking about selective color, I realize I might be contradicting myself when I say don't do selective color, and then I say, oh, take out this color, take out this additional color. The difference is when you take out every color except red and there's trees in the background, it's like, well, that's all gray now, and the only thing that's red is the car and its taillights or whatever. But when we can subtly make this concrete, I mean, the only thing here is just concrete and metal. So it's all stuff that is very believably could be gray. So if we could just kind of neutralize it, make it really neutral, I think the car would pop more. Yeah, I would say maybe this would be better if we were looking at the front half of the car instead of the rear half. But it is a choice to feature that spoiler, to show that spoiler. So I'm not gonna go as far as to say that, because we're really emphasizing that spoiler is very unique, and this is a unique perspective to capture it. So yeah, I like what you did here. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Filipe, for sending those in. That's it. That's it for this one. So please share this or like it or something if you enjoy this, and that way I can keep doing this, which I plan to anyway, as I've already said. But that makes it an easier choice, easier to prioritize, I should say. So thanks a lot. See you next time.